So, are you a fan of the Xfce desktop environment? Well, let me show you guys a distro that I think you guys would be interested in. What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and today I want to do another distribution review. And I found this distro. It's an awesome distro. I'm a fan of the Xfce desktop environment, and that is the purpose of this distribution. It's basically to give people an option that love Debian and love the Xfce desktop. It's called Xebian. And I already know there is a Ubuntu based distribution called Xubuntu, but Debian is basically the distribution that Ubuntu took to create Ubuntu, because Ubuntu is based on Debian. Well, Xebian is more closer to the source, than Xubuntu. So I thought this would be interesting. I just found out about it. So first off, let's hop over to the website so we can check out what it's all about, and then go through the install, and then actually look at the desktop environment of Xebian. All right, cool. So we are at Xebian.org, and of course I'll always have the link down in the description of the video. But as you can see, this is the main website for Xebian. This is where you can download it. They have all the information about it. But it says, welcome to Xebian. The goal of this project is to make a Xfce Debian-based system that is much like Xubuntu. And of course, based on what I said, Xubuntu is a Ubuntu-based distribution, and Ubuntu is based on Debian. So Xebian is a little bit closer, to the source than Xubuntu. And as you can see, it's based on Debian unstable, and then it uses the Xfce as the desktop environment. And then also it states modify default configuration to give you the best desktop experience without losing the classic look and feel. And then it also has Numix, the GTK Plus theme by default, which I love. Numix is, I don't know, it's just an awesome theme to me, and I've been using that on my main desktop environment, or my main system of Orch. I've been using that Numix theme. It's awesome. But it says, and other Shimmer project themes pre-installed. And then they also have another tab in here, screenshots, so you can look at some screenshots of the desktop environment, and it actually looks pretty good. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see more when we get to it. But this is how you download it. As you can see, they have an AMD 64 version. You can download it directly. The meta file, Z-Sync meta file, MD5 hash, on the SHA-256 and manifest. And then also they have a 32-bit version. So they got the same download links there. And so what I recommend, most people have a 64-bit architecture on their system, so they could just download the AMD 64 version. But you can click on the direct download, and that'll get you the ISO, and you can write it to a USB and then boot into it and install if you want to. Now let's hop over to our virtual machine so we can walk through the install and we can look at this distribution. Okay, cool. So we have the virtual machine running. Let's go on and or it's created, and let's go on and start it. So as you can see, you have a couple of options that'll pop up on the boot menu. So basically the live AMD 64, there's a live AMD 64 failsafe, and then there's the start installer, which that's what I'm gonna go on and do. I'm gonna hit the start installer because we don't need to go to the live desktop environment. We could just start the installer so I can show you guys the installer. But I do have the installer with speech synthesis, as well as advanced install options and utilities, which I'm not going to go through and look at. We can just go right into the installer. So let's press enter, and that way we can get right into the installer. And I'm sure it's the same as Debian. So if you've seen me install a Debian operating system, then you probably seen me install this before. So the process is super simple. And sorry, it's a little small. I'm gonna run through it right fast, and we'll adjust the display settings in a little bit. But basically this is asking for the language, so hit continue. Just select your language, hit continue. I'm in the United States, so I'm gonna select that. Location, and then right here's the keyboard layout. So I'm using American English. You pick whatever is associated with you, and then let's go on and start. It's gonna load basically all the additional components from the disk. It's gonna set up our networking, you know what I'm saying, that way you can download any updates we need during the install process. You know, awesome easy to use installer, and I like it when installers are very simple, you know what I'm saying. So it says the host name is Debian. I'm gonna name it Xebian, just to change it up and name it what it actually is, and so we can hit continue there. Boom. Domain name, I'm gonna ignore that. We don't need a domain name. Configuration, so this is just basically setting up users and passwords. So here's the root password, and let's go down and type in our password for the root account, and then go down to the next line and type in our password as well, twice, and then hit continue. And then now it's gonna set up the user account that you want to use. So I'm gonna use Josh. Boom, that's the login we want to use, which is Josh. And then let's type in our password again, or our password for this account, and then verify that password, you know what I'm saying, and then hit continue, and then set up our clock. So we are Pacific time, so select whatever time zone is for you, hit continue, and then now we're gonna go in and modify the disk or set up the partitions. I'm gonna use the guided use entire disk, which is, you know, the easiest way to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can set up LVM, you can set up LVM and encryption as well, or the manual. We're just gonna go with the guided use entire disk. It's a virtual disk with like 32 gigs of space on it. Let's hit continue. Boom, all files in that partition. And yeah, here we go. This is easy to do. If you want to separate your home partition, like I told you guys before, some people, you know, separate certain directories into different partitions. You know, it makes it easier to move things around if you need to, but we're just gonna roll with it like this. Good to go, and hit continue. And then we're gonna write those changes to the disk, hit continue, and then we're gonna wait for it to finish installing. I'll be back when it actually finishes. Like I said, this is a simple install. It's just like installing, you know, any Debian operating system, or any Debian distribution. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact same installer, so it's very simple to follow and go through and install the operating system. But this is Xubuntu. You know what I'm saying? It says Debian up there, but it's actually not Xubuntu. I'm sorry, Xebian. I gotta get used to saying that. You know, this is my, like I said, this is my first time playing around with this distribution, and I always get excited, you know, about distributions that heavily focus on using the Xfce desktop environment. You know what I'm saying? Because that's, I don't know, it's just my favorite desktop environment. I know a lot of people like Plasma, you know, GNOME, and they're used to actually using it, but Xfce has always, you know, had a little special place in my heart. You know what I'm saying? I really like that desktop environment because it's simple to use, and you can, you know, customize as much as you want to. Some of the other distributions, they are a little bit limited, you know, in certain areas, but you can do pretty much anything with Xfce. You know what I'm saying? You can make it look how you want it to look, you know, and all that good stuff, without, you know, heavily putting a whole bunch of themes on it and stuff and other packages. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I like things simple. But as you can see, it's almost finished, but I'll be back when it actually finishes. Alright, cool. So this popped up during the install. It says a network mirror can be used to supplement the software that is included on the installation media. This may also make newer versions of software available, and we're going to leave it at default of yes. So use the network mirrors, that's fine. And I always, you know, like to do that anyway. That way you can get the latest packages, especially on, you know, any distribution that I'm installing. I always get it to check it. I like when they check, you know what I'm saying, online. But here's the mirrors. So you want to select the United States mirror, or the closest one to you, you know what I'm saying. And then I'm gonna just roll with the top one, so dev.debian.org, that's fine. Hit continue. I don't want to use a proxy, so we hit continue, and it's gonna configure our package manager and then retrieve any updates, and I believe it's gonna go through a update process after it configures the app package manager. So I'll be back in a second. All right, so the last step I believe within this installer is basically installing Grub. And basically it says, it seems that this new installation is the only operating system on the system. If so, it should be safe to install Grub bootloader to the primary drive, UEFI bootloader. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit continue and then select our drive, our device, hit continue, and it will install Grub for us, on that main partition for the bootloader. So we're good to go. All right, so that completes the install of Xebian. And as you can see, it says installation complete. Installation is complete, so it's time to boot into the new system. And what you want to do is remove the installation media. So you can go into your virtual machine and remove the actual disk if you want to, manually before booting up the system. That way it'll boot right off the hard drive and you get to go. So we're gonna hit continue there. It's gonna finish a little bit more configuration, and then it's gonna go through and reboot the system. All right, cool. So it's booting up now. As you can see, that's our Grub menu. It went on and selected Debian from there, but it's actually Xebian, you know what I'm saying, like we've been saying. And as you can see, that is the login screen, and we're gonna get the resolution fixed in a second once we logged into it. But like I said, this is clean, you know what I'm saying. When I think about a Linux operating system, I think about a simple, clean distro. You got your bar at the top, you can add a dock down at the bottom if you want to, you know what I'm saying, but just overall clean, you know what I'm saying, not too busy, not a whole bunch of pop-ups, you know what I'm saying. You automatically have your your different desktops up here, so you can switch between them. You got your calendar up here at the top, you know what I'm saying, network settings, the package updaters and networking, sound, battery, all that good stuff there. And if you click right here, just open up all your applications, super clean. And you can adjust this, that's one cool thing about Xfce that I like. You can adjust this. Let's say you want it like this or something, so it'll, every time you open it up, it'll be in that configuration, you know what I'm saying. Or and you could and you can add your favorites in here, you know what I'm saying, good to go. Or you could put it however you want it to look, you know what I'm saying, and it'll keep it that way. But let's go on and fix our display settings, and actually that's wrong thing, so let's go up in here and type display. That way we can get into our display settings and go on and set it to the one I know will work perfectly for OBS. So keep this configuration, we are good to go. And I didn't kind of cover the taskbar, you know what I'm saying. So let's look at the applications that are on here. I'm sure it's similar to Debian. It's pretty much everything that you would have on Debian when you first install it. So you got a web browser, or maybe not, because sometimes oh, it has Firefox. That's cool, it does. Sometimes those links don't work because there isn't a browser on here, because those are like generic buttons up here. If you don't have a web browser installed, it's not gonna open up anything, you know what I'm saying. So that's good that it does come with a web browser install, and it all depends on, this is like the default button for a web browser. You got your file manager, which I'm sure is Thunar, you know what I'm saying. So that's the file manager. It's awesome, it works, you know what I'm saying. It's a awesome window manager or file manager. So we get to go with that. And then we had a Xfce terminal. So let's open that up and look at the version. So Xfce 4 terminal, so 0.8.10. So we get to go. And then one of the first things you want to do when you install any operating system for the first time, you want to update it so you can run your updates. I'm not going to run the updates, but it does check to see if you have updates. As you can see, it has a whole bunch of updates, so 539 software updates available for the system. So and one thing I want to do before let's go down and close that alert, but if we go down here, let's check out the version of Firefox we have, and it's 96.0.3. So good to go, 64-bit. Let's go ahead and close that out. Now let's go through some of the applications. Let's click on all applications. So this is generic Xfce, applications, or a port of Xfce desktop environment, but there are some other things in here, like bulk renamer, that's port of a catfish, file search, that's awesome to see. Like I said, the file manager, in Grandpa, the archive manager, so that's on there. Gported, it's always good to see that on there. You know what I'm saying? Mate calculator. Let's see if there is a mail reader. Yeah, see, this is what will happen if you don't have an application installed. I recommend you install Thunderbird. That works pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back into our applications though. But no mail reader. You got your panels, menu editor, Mate calculator. So that's cool. They got the Mate one. Let's see, removable drives. But let's go into the settings right fast. So let's find the settings editor, and let's not go into that one. Let's go into our other settings. So we can go right here, hit settings manager, and there you go. This will allow you to edit the operating system, like change all the settings. So you got appearance, and it's using that Numix theme right now. You can install some other stuff on there. They got elementary, icons. You got your different fonts on here. You can add more fonts. You know what I'm saying? You can customize this thing as much as you want. You know what I'm saying? Let's go back to all settings though. The notifications, I try to turn those off because I hate notifications popping up on my computer. Window manager tweaks, that's cool that's there. Xfce terminal settings, so you can go in and modify your settings for your terminal there. Additional drivers, display, advanced network configuration, so if you want to add a VPN or something. Display settings, which I went through, mouse and touchpad. Power management settings, pulse audio, so it comes with pulse audio, that's good. Software updater, and we can go into that right fast as well. But users and groups, it's pretty standard, Xfce desktop environment. But let's click on the software one. This is just the settings for the software manager. You can add other software sources, updates, and it's basically settings for it. Now we can close that. Time, dates, user groups, like I said, package update indicator preferences, so you can modify that as well. So let's go to our software manager, or Synaptic Package Manager, which I'm sure that's what it is. Yeah, here we go. So Synaptic Package Manager, let's go down and open that up right fast so you guys can see how to install applications on here. So this will help you install all your applications. So you can go through here. They have it categorized, so you can go through and find whatever you're looking for. Known desktop environment, Go programming language. Just basically search for whatever you're looking for, right in here. Like for instance, let's say you want GIMP on your system. You should be able to find GIMP on here. And let's see, here we go. So GIMP, all you gotta do is find it, select it, basically mark for installation. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna show you everything that's gonna install, all the dependencies as well as upgrades. So you can mark all those as well. But I'm gonna hit cancel because I'm not gonna install it. It has a whole bunch of updates that it needs to run, so I'm not gonna install anything. But that's basically how you install something. Now we can close that. We're good to go. But that's pretty much it on Xebian. Let's look at the backgrounds right fast. We can check it out. Oh, that's cool right there. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Look at that, man. That Lamborghini is nice. But that's an awesome, background. I might have to steal this and put this on my main system. You know what I'm saying? So that's awesome right there. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're interested in a Xebian or a Debian-based distribution that uses Xfce, then definitely check out Xebian. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a base Debian system that it already has Xfce installed on it, and you can go through and modify this thing, to to your heart's content. You know what I'm saying? So check it out, man. Xubuntu is not the only option of a Xfce based distribution. You know what I'm saying? So, or Debian based distribution with the Xfce desktop environment. So that's super awesome, you know, to me. You know what I'm saying? I really like it. You know what I'm saying? I recommend you guys check it out as well. But please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comments below. And of course, keep it techie.